releasing me so long. Welcome to the Tempest Universe. Manny, today's special, Robin with fried ice.
China.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
It's China to me, China.
Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside.
China.
This is the Tempest Universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
This is the Tempest Universe, and welcome to a fascinating topic for me, at least. It's something that I have been kind of thinking about, but as of lately, we've been hearing people in current ufology who seem to have come across the topic of demons and saucers. So, but I can't tackle this thing by myself because it's dangerous. As a matter of fact, I told the guys I just had a crazy ass co-chill right before I started this. So I don't know. First up, we have a very special guest by the name of Marty Angler, but there he is.
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome, Marty. Now, Marty is the host of Beardos Roadhouse on Spreaker and also Angling Waters.
Angling Waters Outdoors.
Outdoors, yeah. Got and also this. If you've heard me mention the Tempest Universe Minute, it runs on Beardos Roadhouse.
Beardos Roadhouse.
Yeah, really excited about that. Pretty cool stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and also we're going to add to our long list of guests, the Nom.
Hey,
sitting out in the desert.
I'm ready for this. I've got my incense, I've got my candle, and if worse comes to worse, there's a Bible floating around here.
Right, and your chastity belt. And the next one.
It's only got one. That's the scary part.
Yeah, you need a lot to surround yourself with it. And our last guest who showed up all of a sudden, the man from the West, Green Man.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's good? Nice hat, by the way.
Thank you. It's my snake handling hat, just in case.
Perfect. We're not handling snakes on this episode, though.
No.
At least those. Anyway, so the episode is about UFO demons and the people that love them, basically. Let's see who, if anybody's in the live chat right now. Let's take a look at this, because it looks like the other person, Dre, is also in the live chat right now. Dre. What's up? Hello, Dre. Got another Asgardians.
Hey.
By the way, Dre has a particular guest in mind for us. That they did a UFO documentary, and the individual actually lives in Corpus Christi, believe it or not. So it'll be interesting. Their documentary was, I watched it. It was something else. What's up to K-Cut? Howdy. Welcome to the topic.
Hello.
Anyway, so how do we get started? How do we get started on this wild topic of demons and UFOs? I know, Marty, we've talked about this in the past, and man, it is it's kind of a scary topic to really dive into, only because the folks that are involved with it are the folks that are really totally involved with the UFO topic. It's the government.
Yeah, definitely the government. You know, and to get on top of it, you have to really discuss everything paranormal when you discuss this, because you have the lights, the things unseen, the apparitions that just show up. And on top of that, you might as well throw Bigfoot in the middle of this, because that all winds up in that too. What are aliens? I mean, really, if you think about it, they've been around for centuries.
Yes.
And yet we still don't have one-on-one, talks. There's a claim that the U.S. government had meetings with them back in the 50s, but other than that, why? Why is there no communications? Why is there no one-on-one things going on with them?
Yeah,
And then-
one-on-one time with the great one. What's going on with that? Let us know.
And you also too, you have the people that have been abducted. In the early parts of being in the abductions, they always talked about sulfur. Well, that's supposed to be the dead giveaway in any paranormal. When you smell sulfur, those are demons from hell. So, how do you relate that to a being from another planet?
And sometimes when I thought about this, especially now, we're doing all the research, is like maybe that's our easy way to explain aliens.
Yeah.
Just say they're demons.
Well, there's just too many what ifs. What is this for? Or what are they not doing? Or what are they doing? Why are they here? What are they looking for? Why are they abducting people?
Yeah, it's maddening.
There's as a matter of fact, I'm trying to bring up the sheet now. Eventually, I love it. There's a guy back in the 50s who really got into the paranormal UFO thing. The Albert Bender. I don't know if you know anything about Albert Bender, but he was a Air Force vet and was very into UFOs, and he had such an appreciation for it. He brought in a group, and when they would talk to the group and they would try to mind meld with the UFOs, and the UFOs would come to see them, they talked about the smell of sulfur.
Oh, really?
They talked about how Bender would have these sensations of heat, and he would get angry at times for no apparent reason. Excuse me. So the group was the IFSB, International. If I can find it here. I write these things down, but then I forget where I put them.
Yeah.
The International
the problems of
Bureau.
podcasting. Podcasting. You just there's notes everywhere. You just can't figure out what the heck it is. Yeah.
I've got them on my computer. Got them in my hand.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. And I've watched so much stuff; it's almost nauseating. But it was the International Flying Saucer Bureau.
Okay.
And at one point, the Men in Black went to him and said, "Hey, you got to stop doing this," and he decided he was going to continue to do it anyway. But eventually, it stopped, and when he passed away, it was just the group dissipated. Nobody else wanted anything to do with it. But it just seems like you got that kind of situation where everything relating to demons and there's no communication one-on-one with regular human beings. So how do you justify these people being from another planet? Now, in the Bible, it tells you that there are planetary beings, but they're not from planets. They're from a planet, but they don't say where.
Right. Is it like the Nephilim?
Well, the Nephilim are supposed to be fallen angels,
right?
So if you're going that route, yeah, they could be. Like I said, there's a lot of things that we do not know. They talk about NX or the NX2 planet or whatever it's called. That comes around every so often. They could be from that.
Oh, yes, Nibiru.
Yeah, and like I said, I've gone over so much stuff. It's almost crazy. But a lot of the people on, in fact, I'll give you a website. It's come on, Mister. It's alienresistance.org. They have over 100 testimonies of how people stopped alien abductions in the name of Jesus. And
Dre needs that. Dre, pay attention.
If you They've just, they've said, stop doing this. Leave me alone in the name of Jesus Christ. They stopped and they never started up again. So if you've got over 100 people, hundreds of testimonies that state this, something's got to be realistic about it. So,
yeah, and it's some of the stuff that I looked at actually pointed towards a fear of the occult early on,
Yes.
believe it or not, as
Yeah,
a way for the idea that demons are UFOs. Particularly this group that's called the Collins Elite. I first heard about the Collins Elite listening to Louis Elizondo and some stuff that he was saying about this group. So there's secret government cabal. I hate using the word cabal, but that's where it is. It's right there. And they're a religious segment of the government and formed a response to stuff that Aleister Crowley and Jack Parsons were involved in back in the 1940s. So Aleister started his own occult religion. Jack Parsons started JPL.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a connection here somewhere, and I could definitely see. I mean, should we be afraid of JPL now? I mean, really? So it seems like NASA and JPL, they all have some strange beginnings. NASA being with the Germans, coming in to rescue the group. And so now we have Aleister Crowley, who founded this religion, the Thelema, and he pretty much said he was the prophet, and he was going to guide humanity into the the Aeon of Horus in the early 20th century. Apparently, that didn't work out for him because he did pass away December 1947. But then here comes John Parsons, who again was part of that occult situation, and he founded JPL. So our government just has these strange tie-ins with the occult. And I can see where people who are really grounded in Christianity could see problems with UFOs.
Yeah. There's black magic and some of the symbolisms of these aliens. Not saying that every alien is a demon. Most of the aliens appear to be, based on the information you get afterwards. Now, there's a whole way to go around this because, they're the ultimate. Satan is the ultimate liar. So, deception is his provocation. Even some of the older researchers, ufologists like Jack Valet, stated that ufology has spiritual ties. So
Yes.
what does that tell us? Are we?
Yeah,
are
it
we-
doesn't. A lot of people see ufology as a religion too.
Yeah, and that's a scary thing too, because when you invite negative into your life, negative is what you're going to get. But I believe over the years, between doing paranormal investigations and everything else, we're dealing with nothing but demons or Satan's minions or whatever. Ghosts. I don't think you're seeing
They're not
really.
yellow.
Yeah, I don't think you're really seeing ghosts as a ghost. I think you're seeing a deception of a demon. They always sound like little kids. They always sound like women in trouble, cries. They're trying to get your attention. So there's a whole, holy Jiminy Christmas. I can't begin to tell you how much I've gone through this and even to the fact to where hybrid babies, where they're trying to change the DNA in the hybrid babies to be more like us, but them. So if they are demons, they'll be human demons. And I think that's what they're trying to replicate. That's a
I think so.
possibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've thought about that being grayish for a long
Yeah.
time. I think Norm has a question for you
Yeah.
or a statement.
As far as the deception coming from evil and things, I think, isn't it not true that Stephen Groves kind of said that the government's going to do these weird alien things with using UFOs or using something to get more advantages over its populations?
Oh, sure. The government's going to use whatever they can to get the people interested. What's behind their deception? It's another question, because the government, they change their ideas and ways of being in a heartbeat, because it depends on who's in office and who's got the most money to throw around. So, I mean, for years they've talked about making the whole world under the New World Order. They're still trying to do that. That's been over 25 years that I remember hearing about it. So
They're getting closer, though.
yeah, they are. They're getting very close, and it's getting scarier and scarier. Unfortunately for them, in the background that they do not know or do not realize, there are ex-military that are preparing for something. And good for us. Yeah, they're not trying to get off topic here, but the government doesn't realize that they've trained these guys. They know what to expect from. Well, why do you think China's never attacked us? They're not afraid of the United States Army. They're afraid of the old veterans that's sitting at home on their front porch with their shotguns and their sniper rifles and their AK-47s. That's what they're afraid of. And God bless the Patriots. That's all I got to say. So yeah, I think there's just too many open questions to this topic. To what is it that they want from us? It can't be just DNA, but maybe it is. Maybe they're trying to recreate Jesus. Who knows?
Well, that would be the best way for them to, get in, as they would say. Whether it is demons or aliens, right? What if an actual alien showed up from somewhere and say, "Hey, we actually created the first Jesus Christ, and we just brought him back to you guys, and this is our gift to you."
That would be a
game changer.
That would be a game changer for sure. But it would fulfill a lot, especially if it was Jesus. I mean, Shroud of Turin has his blood sample, so you could use that for a match. And if that's the case, but it could be a different realm thing for all we know. They talk about different realms. They talk about the different levels of realms that we are in. I just don't think that everything is bottled up to be a all encompassed universe thing, because I don't understand why they wouldn't come down and say, "Hey, here we are. We're here to observe. We're here to talk to you. If you need any help with anything, we're here." They haven't done that, at least that I know of. It's all about abductions, cattle mutilations, and all that other stuff. Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just come down and talk to us? So
I guess when you have a captive audience, it gets better to have it as a mystery.
Yeah, I guess.
Right, because if we knew, think about it. Once we know something, we don't care about it. We just move on about we go about our business. To be honest,
true.
I think once you have it as a mystery, everyone will know. It becomes something you have to seek and find an answer to, just like it is now. What's up to Game Vet, who just joined?
What game?
So, a complicated story, but somehow in the government, we got people, and it's bound to happen, right? You don't hire people in the government and tell them what religion you are and whether or not you're atheist. You get folks, you hire them. There's some atheists, some follow different religions, and eventually those religions are going to get together when they're faced with these great mysteries, which UFOs and that great mystery, right? And so why not? So if you're involved, you're going to want to try to figure it out from your perspective or your religion. And so, back in the 40s, we got this. Now, author Nick Redfern, which I met about 5 years ago, he writes UFO books and paranormal books, and he wrote one about the Collins Elite. And basically, he interviewed someone that dealt with these guys. And he did this interview with Ray. I'm going to butcher his name. I'm going to say Bochy. But anyway, he had an interview where Ray disclosed to him that the government was trying to get him involved in this demonic discussion and contacting these entities that the Collins group felt were not aliens but demons. Right. And so Ray told him the story, how he was approached by these two employees that were working for the Department of Defense, and they needed his help and guidance because, first of all, he's part of the he was in the religion, and he was a ufologist, so he fit the bill. And they were trying to figure out this UFO demon issue. And so basically they wanted, or they were tasked with contacting non-human entities, which to them, bunny ears, were not necessarily aliens, but they were demons in these UFOs. And these guys were physicists, and they this happened, they were like in their early to mid 50s. And so for them, it's a moral dilemma because they were also Christians.
Right.
And they were working for the Department of Defense, and they were tasked with, again, trying to contact these things. But their perspective as part of their mission was to use these, eventually contact them, make, have communication, but then use them in some way for the government to use as a military weapon or things like that, which I would think that someone that's religious and has to deal with this, that would just blow their mind.
Well, I guess there's a church in South America where there's like 110 people in this church, and they were all abducted, and they can't explain it, and they want answers. So how can you give them an answer? Carl Sagan once stated that in his book that aliens were the great mind deception, where they would attack memories and change the memories and make you think of things like from your childhood or things that would make you think that you were actually up on a spaceship, but you really haven't left your room.
Right.
And there are times when that is stated in these reports, that abduction is a really fine line to what your memory is reliving. I can't think of her name now. Betty, I can't think of her last name. She talked about.
Was it Betty White?
No, from
not Betty White.
Betty Hill.
Betty Hill, yes, thank
Betty
you.
Hill.
She talked about smelling flowers all the time. And it was like, if you're smelling flowers and you're on a spaceship, hey, how can that be? So it's just a mind-boggling thing to think that somebody can come take you and go away with you and then bring you back, and there's nothing you can say or hear about it. But yet, in the same text, somebody next door has been abducted, and he goes, "Stop doing this in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you," and it stops.
Yeah, it's fascinating, weird too. It's kind of like when the last interview we had was Samuel Chung, and he talked about the those aliens at Theobins, how they could, admittedly, to the person they abducted, just explain to them that they can basically put thoughts in your mind, make you see and hear things that aren't really there.
Yeah. There was a few abductions where people were pulled off on the side of the road. Oh, their car broke down. They just fell asleep, but yet they were abducted. And once they've been hypnotized and that story comes out that they've been abducted. But yet, no, we believed we were in this car asleep.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Chariots of the gods and ancient aliens and things like that.
Mhm.
You know, they brought to mind or the opinion that aliens basically ruled everything and made human beings worship them and things
Mhm.
like that. And somewhere along the line, they must have lost power, and perhaps they're trying to gain that power back. And as Manny was saying about the government trying to, you know, maybe infiltrate that and use, you know, turn it around on them because, you know, let's admit it, the human being is pretty slick. We got, you know, brains for a reason. And,
Yeah.
you know, we could be very well trying to take that power and use it not against them, but, you know, just to keep control of the way that things are right now. So where do you go from here? I mean, when it comes to abductions or anything like that, I've basically gone on everybody's kind of word on what I believe that they believe what's happened to them. Myself, I've never had an abduction. I've never remembered any kind of an abduction or anything like that. So it's very fascinating, though, especially when it comes to, you know, religious people, you know, because it could throw them for a loop. You know, it could change their whole view of life. You know, if you know, especially if they say they're Jesus, you know.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing too. I was watching this thing today on. I was Michael Heiser. He's a ufologist and a Bible specialist, and he was saying that a lot of the reports that he's read states that they're telling them Jesus was just one of you. He's nothing special. You have everything that he has. We just made him the forefront. We just made him the go-to guy. And but they never talk about, you know, other religions. They never talk about other deities. They just talk about Jesus, and that gets kind of confusing. Why would they do that and not talk about all the rest of them? And there was a conference in California in 1992, MIT, on alien abduction. Professor John Mack at the event spoke about alien abduction and the abuse and all the rituals, talking about sexual abuse and physical abuse and how that related to a lot of the abduction as well. It's like, you know, where does it come from? Where does it go to, and why? Why is it being done? I think that's the biggest question we have: is why is it being done if it's not demonic?
Especially the abusing part.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see how people can say, okay, an alien came down and he showed me his craft, he showed me his planet, he showed me, you know, how we should live in peace and you know, be, you know, together. But then you got the opposite. You flip it around. Why? You know, why do aliens seem hell bent on torturing some of these poor abductees? Right? I mean, their memories say that they've been harmed. You know, probed, or you know, they've had the, you know, the needle go through their navel. You know, and they you know, especially even Betty Hill was mentioning that when it went into her, there was a great amount of pain. And then she also stated when the alien touched her, the pain went away. You know, so they should have known that to begin with. Why would they even take a chance? You know, why would they just mute the pain in the first place?
One side note on that actual process that you were just talking about, Norm, is they told her that that was a pregnancy test, which is actually a pregnancy test, but performed years after she had it done by the aliens, supposedly. So that kind of that little fact there is part of it, kind of a testimony to, you know, that case. Is she said that she was told it was that, and later we started using it as that.
Yeah, so she had a procedure that wasn't available at the time.
Exactly.
Which is also a prenatal way of checking for issues with the baby. So that's kind of weird.
But when we talk about that, just in these examples, torturing people and that kind of stuff, we kind of do that to animals, right? When we're trying to advance our own knowledge of medicine and stuff like that, we do the same things. Torture the crap out of animals and do all kind of experiments on them.
Yeah.
We could very well be a melting pot of testing guinea pigs and rats for somebody else.
Could be. And to answer the question, as far as religious figures go, I have not found any. Any bishops, cardinals, any religious figures at all being abducted by aliens. Weird how that sounds, but you find police officers, you find firefighters, but you don't find any religious people.
Because the priests are usually the ones doing the probing.
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't want to go there.
I will.
They're not all probers.
Not all.
Travis
of them.
Walton recently get
There are a
ordained
few.
because I looked it up on Google and he's the first guy that comes up. Travis Walton. No.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Didn't he get ordained afterwards?
You know, all the aliens are smart enough to stay the fuck out the Vatican. That's for damn
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, there's
Well, yeah,
things
and
there
you
that
think
scare
about
me.
if you think about the question that Dre had, if you're a cardinal or even if you're the Pope himself or a religious leader, the last thing you're going to tell the people that follow you in your congregation is that you got probed by an alien,
Yeah.
because that would throw things into chaos for sure. Yeah, so I can see why we don't have any reports of that. Now, to your point, Marty, as far as all these abductions having to have conversations about Jesus Christ, I wonder if you're Hindu and an alien abducts you, what kind of conversations do you have?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I said, I never found anything else that stated that as well. It was just, they all talked about Jesus. Jesus is just one of you guys, not anything special. Well, obviously Jesus must be very important in our lives because, first of all, you brought it up, and yet you're not talking about Buddha or whatever the Hindu one is. You're only talking about Jesus Christ, and if that's the case, well, then that tells me that Jesus Christ is important to us. So,
Very fascinating. Very fascinating.
There's a
And for-
list. Mormonism, Adam and Eve and God came from an alien planet. It's one of their beliefs. The Catholic stance on it is aliens exist, but Jesus was not one of them. Yeah, so they have taken, most religions have taken some sort of recent stance on aliens. So.
yeah, the current Pope, and forgive me for saying this out loud, but I don't think that they are all in the Jesus Christ way of life like they used to be. There are things in that Vatican that it would scare me just to go through it, because there are things that they're hidden in there that probably we should never know, and hopefully we'll never find out. Demons, they probably, demons walk up to God. They surely can walk through the Vatican. So there might be a housing project in there for the demons for all we know.
Right.
Affordable Satan housing.
There you go. Anything's possible.
Free heating.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, hey, for the people that are listening, eventually will listen on the podcast. Right now we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube Live. So we do have a bunch of slides that we're putting up here while we're having a conversation. But the other thing is to remind anyone that's listening is that even though we have people who we kind of quoted historically, that had these tie-ins to the idea of UFOs and demons happening back in the 40s, even in our recent decade with Louis Elizondo, he even came across folks in government which basically appear to be part of the Collins elite, but also would want to suppress UFO studies because of provocation of Satan and his demons as part of the answer for that. And this is talking about while he was during the ATIP situation, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. So this is not something that was just happening in the 40s and the 50s. This is happening now.
Well, they can't
You know?
even get that right anymore. They say it's ATIP, but it's supposed to be AWAS or whatever it was.
Well, it's two different programs.
Yeah,
it's two different programs.
Yeah, but they gave it a nickname for both. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
What are
ASAP.
people doing? Yeah,
I'm sorry, not ASAP. ASAP.
ASAP. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm watching that, and then like they can't even get the name right. You know, it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. You know, as time goes on and we find out more and more, there's more and more programs that came out of one other program and went into another program, and it just keeps on going like snowballing.
Yeah.
And we keep getting the fancy names out of these things
Just
too.
avoiding taxes.
Yeah, avoiding taxes. Yeah,
$22
I wish I
billion
could do that.
of wasted money.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
know why we're broke.
And that's just what we know. I'm
Three
sure it's
card-
in the billions.
Governmental 3-card Monty.
Yeah,
They just shuffle shit around.
yeah.
Mhm.
And you only get two
That's all
cards.
it is. Yeah.
You only get 2 cards. Oh, that is hilarious. But yeah, let's see. We had what did he say? I think Dre had another statement. The Vatican is the hall of records of mankind.
Probably is. They've got all kinds of records there. I mean, anything you watch on the Vatican tells you that the Vatican vaults are just full of stuff. Who knows what's down there?
Stuff
That'd be
you
a
will
fun
never
weekend.
see.
That would be a fun invite. I'm telling you.
I don't know. I think it was years ago. Malachi Martin was on Art Bell, and Malachi was a priest, and I believe like a former exorcist or something like that. And he actually offered to get Art Bell into the archives, and Art said he was afraid to, if I remember right. So.
Have you ever been in the catacombs of a Christian or a Catholic church? There's a labyrinth you don't want to go through. I was an altar boy, and we kind of got down to the catacombs, and boy, you talk about getting lost. I'm like, we're farther away from where the church is, I believe, because it just went around in circles and down this path and out this path, and next thing we know, we're going up these stairs into the choir loft, and like, we must have went around the block. There were so many of them. It's ridiculous. I'm like, can you imagine? And this was an old church. I mean, so how many of these older churches have all these kind of, little crazy
Lower levels,
rooms?
hidden
Mhm.
rooms.
Yeah, rooms that are locked, rooms that are closed off, rooms with no doorknobs, but there's a door and you can't get into it.
They probably have the Ark of the Covenant down there somewhere.
Yeah, well, they claim it's in the United States in a cavern in Nevada, as a matter of fact. So yeah, good luck with that one too, because
And he's like, see how he's smiling there,
Yeah.
Marty. He knows where it's at.
he knows
It's
where
under
it's
his
at.
basement. It's in his basement right now.
Well, I guess there's a drawing of it there too.
It's in my band room.
Yeah,
That's where it's
in the
at.
Grand Canyon, I guess there's a drawing up on a wall somewhere of the
Oh, really?
Ark of the Covenant. Yeah.
Very
Hotel
fascinating.
lobby or
All right. Well, listen. Let's go around and we'll take everyone's opinion on whether or not you have a strong belief in this being a demonic deception to get people away from Christ, basically, and Christianity, as far as UFOs. So, Marty, we'll start with you.
Well, I have to tell you, I am a Jesus Christ follower and a believer. So, yes, I believe that they are demonic in nature.
All right, we'll go counterclockwise because I'm going to skip myself. So we'll go to Green Man.
Well, whether aliens are demonic, I do not know. I definitely do see a change in the society in general. Because, dude, back in the days, it was the metalheads. We got fucking tons of shit. We got threatened. We got fucking beat up, called Satanists all fucking day long.
Hey, Norm is
now-
right there. Don't be talking to him about him like
Yeah,
that.
Knights in Satan's service. Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's you turn on the fucking Grammys and look at fucking Sam Smith, dude.
Yeah.
come out, dude, and you got what Little Nas X.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, and these are popular. It's like becoming trendy now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you see it more. It's just like the aliens thing is. You let us see aliens more and more become more and more desensitized to it, and now it's it seems like it's like you've got more evil and demonic things coming out that are just like, oh, these are cool, this is cool, this is the thing to do, and this is that, and if you're this, then you're thinking this way, and it's like I've got a lot of the guys at my work are religious, and it's like, dude, there's some of the I am not religious, I don't follow their ideals, but they are some of the nicest folks that I've, encountered, when, dude, it's like, I thought, back operation, just kind of like getting the nuances of how to walk normally again. And how am I going to fucking go in and make a living? These guys, gave me a shot, and, it's like, yeah, just because you are a religious person doesn't necessarily mean you automatically hate this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that's the narrative that's being pushed, So all it is, dude, it's divide and conquer. It's whether who it is, the Illuminati, the Bilderbergs, whoever the fuck, it's both sides of the political table. It's there is a bigger agenda that's being pushed on us. It has been pushed on us for a long time, and so far people have been gobbling it up. So they're just running course because they're batting 1,000 right now. And Marty's right. The Patriots are the ones that are going to be there to help bail us out if the shit hits the fan. Why do you think the government wants to fucking take guns so bad? Look at California, look at Chicago, look at New York, strictest gun laws, some of the strictest some of the highest, gun violence rates. So it's.
I think the demons are trying to take over your mic right now.
Yeah. My battery's dying, so I got to charge the iPad because I just got an update.
Okay.
So it's sucking the battery like fucking crazy. So I'm holding my earpiece in.
Yeah, it's about to go out.
So
wait a minute. So you're saying? I know you gave a great speech there, Green Man.
Thank you.
So, demons or no demons?
Aliens, I don't think are demons. But like I said, do I believe that this is going on? Yes, but do I think aliens are a part of it? Not necessarily.
Okay. Get now to the norm.
Well, thanks. And I'm going to have to say, because I believe that demons are able to possess humans, then damn straight they're able to possess aliens too.
All right, wait, hold on a second, because that's interesting. See, now we got to stop there. Yeah, because I mind blown at the second, because I never would have thought that an alien would come down like that little gray guy behind you. He's flying around his little saucer. He lands, and then he gets mind probed by a demon and gets possessed. I mean, you just added a whole new level to this.
You went to the next level.
It could have happened well before.
All right,
them getting here. So
we're making a horror movie about that, Norm.
Yeah.
I get all the rights, right?
There's a script. There's a script in there.
There's for sure. But you know what? And one thing I love about what Jesus Christ did share, Christ shared that the power of God is in him, and he also said that it could also be in you. So there's a lot of choices we can make. Now, we've all seen the videos of demon-possessed people, and I don't know if aliens have these same issues, but I have to assume that if the aliens are real and they're symbiotic beings like us, and they have a mind, and they, have, or even your last week's guest, how he shared that we came from other planets, this could have been a lifelong thing. It just could be the nature of the beast of life, and I would say yes, that if it can happen to us, it can happen to them.
Yeah, that's interesting. And again, I never would have even put the two together. I honestly, myself, accidentally, I tuned on to a movie today and it was called the what is it? The Demon Conspiracy.
I
You
watched
know?
that too today, as a matter of fact.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Oh, but did you watch the film or the documentary?
the documentary.
Okay, I saw the film,
Oh,
which actually
okay.
it came out recently, and it reminded me of that movie, Whatever Happened to Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, that was a crazy movie too.
Yeah, so that's what it reminded me of. But then, you start thinking about, you almost see that there could be both in a way. When you look at the universe and how large it is, and to think that we are the only, bipedal monkeys in the entire universe, to me, that's it has to be wrong. There's got to be other life forms out there, whatever they may be, whatever religion they have, whoever created them, I don't know. But the idea of demons and things like that, there's so many stories on that side of the fence as well as it being real. People being, taken over, and you hear the videos of actual people going through demonic possession, and so that could be real too. Now, is that part of the deception? I don't know. Can it be? Absolutely. Like if I had the power of I have to say a prayer after this. But if I had the power of demonic power and I'm trying to deceive people, well, what better stage than someone videotaping me on their phone or having some kind of event happen over a city?
Yeah.
That would be a way to do it. And the first thing that people think of, some people think that just because there's life forms somewhere else, well, then my religion really doesn't mean anything, because according to my religion, for most people, you can't believe in another God, and God created the heaven and earth, but could he really have done it if these other beings look so much different than I do? But he supposedly made us in his image,
Right.
and so you see and hear all these other different type of aliens, so you start to question that. So it's a weird thing. I could see both, and now that Norm said that, aliens can be
Possessed.
taken
yeah.
over by possession.
That's a good thought, because
Yeah.
there you have it. I mean, if they can be possessed, then they're possessed. Especially if they don't have a God filter,
Right. Exactly. That is really fascinating. All right, Norm, you earned your invite for today.
Don't worry, Manny. I'm going to say a prayer for you as well. So
Yes, thank you.
I got
Thank you.
your
All right,
back,
so
bro.
we had a question here from Dre again. What did he say? Where was it? Nope, that wasn't it.
Yes to both.
Oh,
Okay, there you go.
Yes to
And
both.
Dre's question was,
As a
Marty
matter
ever
of
see a
fact-
UFO or a ghost?
As a matter of fact, I used to be a ghost hunter in my spare time. I've had rocks thrown at me, screws thrown at me. I've heard voices next to my ear in the dark. I've had.
Marty, can you share about your house that you live in real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Talk about that too. As a matter of fact, in this house, in this room that I'm in right now, somebody committed suicide. And in that closet back there, I can't keep doors on there because they keep get blown off or broken off, because whatever hides in there stays in there. One time I was doing my other podcast, Angling Waters Outdoors, and I was using a camera. And the following week I didn't use the camera, and that rack just busted off the wall and came flying out. There was no creaking, no oops, look, it's moving. It just came flying out of there. I have a book called the Shield of God, and in there it gives prayers on how to remove demons and entities from the house. I can also tell you, at one point, sitting in my living room, I seen a shadow person crawling across the ceiling trying to get out. And when he seen that I spotted him and I said, "Get out, don't come back," he went flying out the door. I haven't seen him since. EVPs in this house are just, you can put a recorder on and walk away and you'll get all kinds of voices in the house. Not as much right now, but back in when we had the second floor put on, of course, we had construction work going on and stuff. But even after that, 5 or 6 years after that, they were still prevalent. As a matter of fact, my son was sitting upstairs in his room, and they heard a noise in the bathtub, and he had the recorder in his hand, and he heard a bump in the bathroom, and in the recorder it says he's in the bathtub, or he's in the tub. So there was an EVP stating that somebody was in the tub, and then he heard a noise in the bathroom in the bathtub. So that's kind of weird. My basement is a cellar; it's not a real basement. We used to get on there and do EVP sessions in the basement. They used to get all kinds of crazy things going on. The clearest EVP was a child's voice that goes, "Mrs. Coleman." Like, wow, that's clear. Of course, you get these things, and then after a while, computer blows up, and of course, that's the hard drive that blows up. So,
that would be a good reason to look up past history on your house. Who owned your house? If there was a Coleman involved.
Right. Well, the guy that owned the house before me, I used to cut the grass here when I was a teenager, so I knew him. I knew his family. In fact, his youngest son and I were friends. We played softball together back in the day. He was a few years older than me. He's gone now, but he would drive on the property and beep his horn. He wouldn't even get out of the car. He was so afraid of this house, it wasn't funny.
He had history with it then.
Yeah. So, but now today, every once in a while in a blue moon, because I work at home all day long, I'll get a sense like somebody's walking across in the upstairs bedroom.
Wow. And
then I'll go up and check, and there's nobody there. But other than that, it's pretty quiet nowadays. But again, I have I've done the prayers, and I've gotten rid of the mess that was in here before. But I've been in houses where you walk in the door and every hair on your body just stands up. The electricity is so thick. And you're like, wow, this is just like way too much. And as you walk in there, your breathing gets heavy. And then you start to feel like you're getting lightheaded. And then that smell of sulfur. And you turn around and walk right out, because you gotta protect yourself when you walk in on those things. So you go outside, you say your prayer, you walk back in, and it's oppressed a lot, but it's still there.
Marty, remove me from your guest list. Thank you.
No dinner date for you, Manny.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
You guys gave me a sequel to the movie that we just made up. It's going to be Alien Ghosts.
Alien Ghosts. There you go.
At Marty's, please.
Remote viewing, and I don't know about remote viewing. I don't really believe in psychics. I believe that has some demonic abilities. I don't believe in people who walk into a room and start saying, "Oh, I see this one and I see that one." Is it possible? Maybe, but who's giving you that ability? Is it God giving you that ability, or is it Satan giving you that ability? I don't know.
Good point.
I'll listen. I'll watch them on TV. Yeah, I'm a big ghost hunter. I like to watch ghost hunting videos and shows and stuff like that. But as far as going out and actually doing the investigations now, I've kind of refrained from doing that. As God says that we're not to seek those out, because you don't know what you're talking to and you don't know what you're going to get. And
careful what you wish for. You just might
exactly.
Get it, right? Yeah.
And once you invite that in, it will possess you. May not be a possession like you see, The Exorcist, the movie. It may be, just a little whisper in the ear.
Yeah, it can change the way you emotionally feel about
right. You might not be an angry person, and all of a sudden, certain little things set you off.
Mm-hmm. Like that gentleman you were speaking of earlier.
Yeah. So, I kind of like refrain from doing all that stuff. I still like to watch it, but I watch it now for authenticity, because a lot of these shows, they make it up as they go along, unfortunately, because they're not dogs. You can't hand them a biscuit and tell them to roll over and play dead.
Exactly.
So it's not going to happen every time. And some of these guys that do it by themselves scare me, because there's a lot of guys on YouTube that do these haunting investigations by themselves. You know, there's safety in numbers.
Exactly, yeah.
When you start doing this stuff by yourself, boy, you are open.
They got
every
balls.
door.
I've seen a couple guys. They go back. Like they get scared. They leave the room and they are entirely by themselves. And I just can't believe it. I'm just like, you got balls, bro.
Yeah. You got a lot of that and a lot of guts, because you're a lot braver than I am. Because even if I was packing a gun, walking into a room like that, and you see a pair of eyes staring back at you, and there's no body behind them eyes, you're like, whoa, back off, Jack.
Well, I've never seen a bullet take out a ghost before. That'd be great. That'd be one thing.
Well, you know, those kids in Nebraska went into that barn.
What am I thinking?
They go into this barn. They see this what they thought was a ghost was actually a guy out there, and he was trying to kill them. And luckily, they ran away. But I would have still been around. But I'm a
Well, you know, the weird thing is these folks who go by themselves, there's still the whole hitchhiker thing, you know, where these things will follow you back home.
They'll follow you home. They'll attach themselves to you. They don't care. You know, thank God I found Jesus, and I found a way to protect myself from that stuff, and I stay away from it. But I do like to watch it. And when somebody goes, "Oh, I got this going on," I go, "I got this going on." I go, "Okay, well, here, let me send you some prayers." I'll email them a couple of prayers. Say this in your house, you know, every night before you go to bed, and then things calm down and quiet down. Pretty soon they're gone.
I'm gonna need that website after this.
So I got one more question before we end the episode for today. Marty, do you believe aliens will be made known to the public in our lifetime?
Ooh, that's a strong question. I don't think so. I really don't. I think they're going to continue the deception of whatever it is they're doing. It's a grand illusion. To quote a Styx song.
Yeah.
I don't see the purpose of it. They're doing whatever they do now. Why would they now want to show up and say, "Hey, hi, how are you?" I think a lot of things would have to happen preceding that. Things would have to calm down, and we'll have to take a lot of we'll have to go back to like the 1950s, when you didn't see a lot of worshiping of the devil. I think that in that period of time, there was a lot of things done, you know, under the table and whatnot, but it wasn't out in the open like it is now. At that point, maybe something, but I still don't see it happening in our lifetime, or even ever. I think it's a deception.
There you go.
I got to agree, because I think the time, you know, that you were mentioning, I mean, when we went through COVID, everything shut down, and that was the time. I believe, Manny, you were on board with this too, that everything was really about to pop about aliens, and it was a perfect time. Everybody was quiet. Everybody was glued to one, you know, specific thing, which was the television or the internet, or, you know,
and that would have been
they were stuck in one place. It would have been the perfect time.
Yeah, I agree.
It did not happen.
And that actually was a period where the actual sightings increased too, because people had nowhere to go, so they would sit outside, you know, in the evenings or whatever, and see a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, well, everything shut down in March, and here you go, right through spring into the open summer.
Welcome to Space Oddities. You made it kind of late, Space Oddities. I'll let you already on there. We're about to check out, but play the episode again. We had some great conversations regarding demonic deception and UFOs and the possibilities. Heck, even Space Oddities might even have some insight in that, to be honest. Listen, I don't know either way. You know, thanks to the norm, it might be everything. It could be this big soup bowl of madness that's connected to UFOs. It could be demons, it could be aliens, it could be both. They might be interchangeable at times. And they could be interdimensional creatures too. One of the thoughts that I had recently was with the paranormal, which this will be a total different episode, but, you know, with us trying to get into the frequencies and things like that, and the way these UFOs allegedly are fueled, and how they race through time at faster than the speed of light. Could their travel cause these rips in between the veil, which would give us paranormal activity? So that's one thing I thought about, especially when speaking about Gamevit and how much paranormal activity he actually experiences, and also has all these UFO sightings. So very strange things indeed.
Kind of weird they all go hand in hand.
That's the thing. I'm thinking that's what it is. Oh, Space Oddities, I run UAPX, which is a great group. I might even know who this is. Mm-hmm. And I am a saved Christian. But there you go.
Amen.
So science and Christianity can go together. And UFOs, Bigfoot, smog monsters, I don't know.
Swamp monsters.
Well, guys, I thank you guys for joining. It's been fantastic. Marty, thank you for getting on the pod and speaking your mind on this crazy topic.
Yeah, it's well, it's one of those things that you got to have an opinion for it. So, yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It was fantastic. What's up, Gary?
It was a pleasure to meet you, Marty.
And pleasure to meet you guys as well.
Yeah.
Look forward to doing it again.
Yes.
But not at your place.
Yeah, not at your place, Marty.
I've got 7 Bibles, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like you fish, Marty.
I do fish a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll do it out there.
Yeah.
We'll go fishing and we'll look for UFOs in the sky or some shit like that.
Well, ironically, you say that. Me and my son were fishing one evening, and I told Manny this. As we were coming back in, there was an orange globe just going over. No sound, no nothing. It went over. I videotaped it, but it doesn't show up orange. It just shows up white. And we watched this thing, and it took forever to get over the top of us. And so it wasn't an airplane, because airplanes go right over us. No sound, no nothing. So yeah, that's why I fish at night.
Manny's got a lovely relationship with the words. I know that.
Yeah.
What general area are you fishing out of?
Well, we're 15 minutes from the Wisconsin border in Illinois.
This episode is sponsored by Bassmaster.
There you go. And the people that probed them. All right, so hey, thank you guys for listening. I'm glad everybody was able to make it. We might have another special guest next Saturday. We've got to work that out with Dre, get his contact, but that's going to be really interesting information because it's all behind a documentary about UFOs. So until then, ciao, everyone.
Ciao.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Feels unreal, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. I don't give a damn, I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You're mad at me for not giving you comfort. You say that I'm away so much, and now you don't feel the way you felt when